questions to our committee. Councillors, firstly, attendances, apologies. Looks like everyone is here from what I can see. Yep. No leave of absence. Confirmation of minutes, item 3, if someone's happy to move that. Thank you, Dan. Thank you. Councillor Doran, seconded Councillor Tozer. We'll take the vote on that. All those in favour? That is carried. Conflicts of interest, declarations, I've not received anything, so I'm gathering all is okay on that front. Forward planning schedule 5.1. Any questions on that, Councillor Gates?
Thanks, Chair. I just have a question about round 870. Does anyone have any idea what that's about? It's just in the Invest Gold Coast infrastructure charges framework, like why they would have an infrastructure charges framework.
Through you, Chair. No, I haven't seen the report as yet. However, Mark Gerard is coming to present the program and PIP update. So okay. If you'd like to ask him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That's all. Can't move it, I'm not on.
So you're saying what Mark can give that?
There wasn't any more queries, I was just going to move the item.
Sorry, I do have another query.
You have another query? Please, yeah.
With 871, maybe it's in the projects update of Invest. It's all right. It just hasn't called out that the Southport item is coming, but it's probably actually included in the projects update. It's okay.
Okay, you're all right with that? So, what's that? Okay, yeah. All right. So, Councillor Gates, you're happy for that to be moved and...
Yes, thank you. I just wondered.
Okay, all right. So, 5.1, Councillor Tozer, you're happy to move that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Seconded, Councillor Fowler, thank you. All those in favour? That is carried. Thank you. Okay, 6.1 is event toolkit. I think we've got Laura here to come and just give us an overview. Does anyone want an overview, or have you all been spoken to either Jim or Laura and got a pretty good? Oh boy, there's a cast of thousands here. They've got us surrounded. They've got us surrounded. Yeah. Councillors, would you like a presentation on this, or are you all across this? You would. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you. All right, so this presentation provides a high-level overview of the event toolkit, including why it was developed, what has been delivered, and the value that it creates for the city and event organisers. This toolkit is designed specifically for major festivals and concerts delivered within the city. If an event chooses to develop and submit their own operational plans, they can still do so through the city's standard event application and assessment process. So why an event toolkit? Historically, significant events were required to develop bespoke operational plans for each application, even when those events were delivered repeatedly at the same locations. This resulted in unnecessary cost and duplication for event organisers, as well as repeated assessment and effort and longer approval time frames for city officers. The absence of standardised, site-specific guidelines also meant outcomes could vary between events, reducing transparency and making expectations less clear for the community. The Event Toolkit addresses these challenges by removing duplication, introducing consistent and evidence-based standards, and provides a single framework to support event planning and approvals. Consultation has been integral to the development of the toolkit, including early engagement with major event organisers, industry bodies and emergency services, followed by further consultation with councillors, stakeholders and land custodians. So the 9 precincts, these sites were selected through extensive analysis of historical event usage, site capability and consultation. These precincts represent the city's most premium and event-ready public spaces. They are locations that have proven capacity to host high-profile events. Importantly, this framework also helps spread event activity across the city by showcasing alternative sites that are available. The toolkit components, we've developed the following components for each precinct, including a site assessment matrix, site maps, noise management and community consultation guidelines, and transport and traffic management plans. Use of the toolkit documents is optional. Event organisers may elect to use all, some, or none of the available plans. By accepting the city's site-specific documentation, organisers can streamline the approval process, reducing both assessment time and costs. So we have the site assessment matrix. The Concert and Festival Site Assessment Matrix is a governance tool within the toolkit. It sets evidence-based parameters for maximum attendee capacity, noise limits, event frequency, activations per year, and total usable site area. The toolkit does not remove the need for standard assessment processes. Where an event falls outside of the toolkit, the application will proceed through the usual assessment and consultation pathway. And again, this still gives councillors the opportunity to be consulted and provide their feedback. Site design overlay. So the site maps include blank CAD site maps, event setup CAD maps, blank 3D site maps, 3D event setups. We've done underground service overlays, and we've also mapped all of the permanent infrastructure and nature within the park. Each site design overlay demonstrates how events can realistically operate within the space, taking into account the infrastructure, services, access, and site environmental constraints. For each precinct, both blank and site design CADs have been developed alongside blank and site design 3D maps. This gives event organisers the flexibility to use the city prepared mapping or to apply their own event layouts within the clearly defined parameters. As part of this work, all the known underground services have been mapped for each location, helping to manage risk and support efficient and safe site planning. So the noise management and community engagement guideline is the city engaged an appended acoustic consultant to undertake detailed acoustic assessments and noise dispersion modelling. This was combined with the city's own noise data collection to establish appropriate noise levels and develop recommendations that balance event activation with community amenity. The guideline includes site-specific noise limits, noise management measures, stage location, orientation and direction, community notification guidelines, and community complaints process. The noise management guideline is underpinned by an independent acoustic consultant who completed detailed data collection and analysis to establish the approved noise levels. This was also supported by an internal review of historic events, previous approved noise levels, post-event noise reports, and any complaints that we have previously received. Each event site has tailored noise levels based on its specific location and surrounding characteristics. In addition, real-time noise monitoring was undertaken from a number of large major events throughout the last 12 months to help ensure that appropriate noise levels have been applied. This guideline outlines that noise monitoring will be completed from front of house, which provides a real-time assurance for organisers and allows proactive management of factors such as weather. In the community engagement guideline, we've expanded notification touchpoints to include letterbox drops, social media updates, direct briefings to divisional councillors, targeted door knocking of affected businesses, and the use of variable messaging signboards to inform the broader community. Overall, the guideline provides clarity for event organisers while ensuring community impacts are appropriately managed. Transport and traffic management plan. So the toolkit includes transport and traffic management plans to streamline the approvals. Rather than focusing solely on road closures, these plans take a whole of movement approach, addressing access, pedestrian safety, public transport integration, active travel, and on-site movement. Transport and traffic management plans include detailed access points, diversion routes, hold and release, road closures, transport coordination, pedestrian management, a resource summary checklist for event organisers, and transport guidance schemes. We've developed a comprehensive event guideline to support all events that are delivered across the city, from your small community events to large-scale major events. The purpose of the guideline is to simplify the event delivery permitting process for events delivered within the city. It provides a clear and step-by-step pathway from early planning and approvals through to delivery and post-event considerations. The website has also been redesigned to enhance the end-to-end experience for event organisers. The website functions as an interactive planning tool, allowing organisers to explore sites, compare options by capacity, and quickly identify the precinct best suited for their event. The event application form has been modernised and will improve efficiency with clear instructions, a logical sequence, progress indicator that provides visibility of the application status and any remaining requirements. Some key highlights of the remodelled website are detailed nine key precincts, filtering by site capacity, interactive mapping, key site designs and features, and operational and planning documents. I'm just going to pop over to Chambers and I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of a live demo of how the website works. Okay, so this will be the landing page. From here, there is a major outdoor event sites that they will be able to navigate to, taking them to the main page. So as I mentioned, there's an interactive map. So for anyone that's not a local or from the city, they can see from one end to the other where they are situated on the Gold Coast. They will be able to filter these locations by capacity. So if they know the capacity that they want to have, easily filter. And then from there, it will go into each precinct. Now I'll just bring up Broadwater Parklands because that's our model site. So from here, it shows the spaces available, highlights some features, talks about the site design and just a couple of little key bullet points for each. And then from there, there'll be the operational planning documents, which includes all of the site maps and the plans that they need, and then a direct link there to apply. All right. Okay, so in summary, the Event Toolkit modernises the way the city supports events. Importantly, it positions the city to confidently attract and manage future major events in a consistent and transparent way. The toolkit is proposed to go live from August 2026. Thank you.
Thank you. And we need two of you, don't we? We needed one of you there and one of you over there. So, yeah. We've got a few questions. I'm going to go to Councillor O'Neill. Even though she's not a committee member, I'm going to give her the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate that. And thank you for your presentation. And I have had a really good look at all the management plans in specifically my area, Coolangatta and Beach and Kiwi Park. I'm probably going to go straight to the recommendation and just seek a clarification. My understanding after having a briefing with officers is that a lot of what was actually in the resolution from August 2020 has been incorporated into the parameters of the toolkit for those areas. I think that's very important that, that I clarify that for my residents who live within that area.
Yeah, so the site assessment matrix is really what determines like our parameters. Following that, anything that is outside of that will follow the same standard process. So for an example, we had a high profile event there a few years ago, which was 30,000 packs. That would not be able to go through this process. It would have to go through the standard process.
Thank you. I'm very happy with all the elements of the toolkit for the area. I think you've been more than thorough on carrying out, and hopefully it works really well in providing clarification to the event organisers, but also giving some protection for the residents of the area. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Gates. I'm going to go to Councillor Young and then to Councillor Patterson.
Thanks, Chair. Thanks, Laura, for the presentation. And I appreciate there's a lot of work gone into the development of these guidelines. I wanted to ask about sites that are not deemed major, but still attract lots of events. And for example, in my area, Country Paradise, west of Nerang, has dozens of events every year of all sizes, you know, from a few hundred to 10,000 people. So is there some way we can direct people towards this kind of facility to at least get an understanding of what they should be contemplating?
Yeah, through the chair. So the event guideline document is really an A to Z, and it does talk through like those smaller community events through to the large. It gives them all a real guideline and a clear way to work through. In addition to that, this is not the end of this toolkit. As more sites come online, or you know, as deemed through city activation, that there are areas that need to be reviewed, they potentially will be added to this as well.
Okay, thanks. So if I noted on our page 66, which is page 30 of the guidelines, it talks about waste being waste-wise at events. It says, while city-specific guidelines are being finalised, and it refers people to a New South Wales document in the interim. So what's the time frame for that, do you think?
So at the moment, we do have some BAU waste documents that we are in the process of updating. They haven't been updated for a number of years. Also, there is a separate project running within the city around sustainability, and that will tie in nicely as well. We also, as part of an event permit, there are wastewater, waste recycling conditions that get added to event organisers' permits.
So specifically, whereby now it says the guidelines are being developed, when do you think we'll be able to replace that wording and say, here's the link to direct people specifically to what we want?
Through the chair, yeah, absolutely. There is the document that's being updated, the BAU document. It will be included as part of the operational documents for these sites, as well as these 9 precincts. There will be a page for standard events that will access all of the operational documents as overarching as well.
Okay, and so these are guidelines. What happens if I am an event provider and I don't follow the guidelines? I don't do the right thing with my waste or with protection of the ground or whatever. Obviously, there are some penalties whereby we can apply a bond and we can recover some funds. But being guidelines, it seems pretty arbitrary as to whether or not someone's going to follow these things.
Yeah, through the chair. So for major events, they go through a process, and some we do apply a bond to. Other than that, there are instances as well where we have invoiced event organisers for rectification charges, or previously we've invoiced city cleaning costs where we've had to send officers out to rectify as well.
Yeah. I'll leave it at that. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Laura.
Councillor Patterson.
Thank you. Through you, Chair. Thank you for that. First question, just on the budget that's noted, that's the 350,000 for the work that has been done to date to get it to here, right? Yep, I just want to confirm that. So I was curious to see on page 28 of that directory, if I'm reading this correctly, noise management, the applicant must, or permit holder must agree to immediately reduce noise upon receipt of a complaint and or when advised by council to do so. So that seems pretty broad. So, I mean, I get noise complaints about events at Broadwater Parkland. So if they get one noise complaint from a resident, then they have to address their noise. Is that right?
Through the chair, so every event, part of their permit conditions are to have an acoustic consultant on site monitoring noise. So ultimately, if there is a complaint received and the city is notified through to the acoustic consultant, the event organiser is then directed, and it is part of their permit conditions that they must reduce the noise.
Sorry, say that bit again about council, the council bit. Because this doesn't say council, it just says if there's a complaint received.
Yeah, so as part of their permit conditions, they are there is noise limits applied, which then every event will have an acoustic consultant at those events. If an event exceeds those noise levels, they will be directed to lower the noise level, the noise.
Perhaps to help me understand that a bit more, if we look at that last really loud music festival at Broadwater Parklands, where I could hear it 10 k's away, what would be different in terms of the noise management then to now?
Through the chair, we've got Alana here from the Noise Management EH team to answer any technical questions that we might have, so I'll pass over to her.
Better turn it on. Through the chair. The noise levels that have been recommended for all site-specific areas are not going to be permitting noise levels like that. So what you're referring to.
So let's say it's a music festival and what happened last time is happening. If I read this, it kind of says that anyone can make a complaint and then they are obligated to reduce the noise. I suppose my question is similar to Councillor Young's. What happens if they don't comply properly?
So basically, a permit will be issued to the applicant, which will permit them a certain level. So whichever site it is, they must comply with that noise level. If they don't comply with that noise level, they must reduce that to the front of house level.
Okay, and if they don't do that, what's the consequence?
Well, that would be a question for is it City Inspectorate? Yeah, compliance.
Through you, Mr. Chair, in that case, Councillor Patterson, our team would be in contact with City Inspectorate, and from a compliance perspective, our team would go out there. There's a number of fines that come into applicable at that point in time, but it really depends on what the situation is.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you very much. And just one other minor question.
Let's just try to get
And find the page. Hang on. Sorry. What's the difference between First Nations engagement and Indigenous engagement?
Through the chair, it was advice that I received from the Mayor's office that there's two separate areas, but we can take that on notice to come back and confirm.
just to be sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
We can get insurance in here.
This is consistent with part 3.
Your question's raised, it's after the fact, so it doesn't stop from 2 times.
Sorry, councillors. Were you? Sorry, Councillor Young, your light was on there. So.
Oh, sorry.
Lights are on, but no one's home. Yeah. But that's... All right. So, councillors. Yes, you have a question.
Thank you, Chair.
Councillor Martin, yes.
Thank you. Question on complaints hotline, because I think for events, like a lot of the simple things can be handled quickly. And I noticed, so 3.7 talks about a complaints hotline must be established for the event. A couple of questions. I guess that's silent on whether it's a mobile or a phone, but essentially it can't be a voicemail, right? Does it have to be someone there to take up, or can it be a message bank?
Through the chair, it must be someone that can answer. So in the lead up to the event and throughout the event, it must be, it's a number that's provided by the event organiser, but yes, it can't be a voicemail. It must be someone that has to answer that phone.
Yeah, fantastic. And when it says for the event, we might have a surf festival, for instance, over 3 days. They might have a band playing. So is the event the 3 days, 24/7? Is it only when event activity, because it might span 3 days, but event activity actually happening? Where's the...
Through the chair, so it is while the event is taking place. So for the permitted event times that is that's nominated on their permit.
Yeah, okay, great. And so if they make a complaint to the organiser about noise or whatever else it is, presumably they're going to create a log. Do they need to give that log back to the city for reporting?
Through the chair, correct, they do. They have 14 days to provide us with the event log, the complaint log.
Fantastic. And so us, as councillors, we could get that information post-event. Thank you. And then probably just a process one. We obviously have 4 other events. We have city, bins or toilets and things like that. And I know event organisers have to bring additional in. Whose responsibility is it to service the city's facilities while that event is on? Is it the city still, because obviously they get used still, do the event take over full ownership, cleaning, servicing, or does the city still have to play a role and therefore an increased role?
Through the chair, so it is the event organiser's responsibility. When we assess the applications, we ask the question on who is servicing the bins. Is it volunteers? Is there a company? What is the frequency for servicing? We do ask that. There are some events, limited events, where they actually do uplift our city services, our city cleaning. And again, then that's the process of a quote from city cleaning through to the event organiser to accept.
Okay, thank you very much.
Councillor Patterson.
I just had another question through you, Chair. With the traffic management, and I appreciate this is a toolkit, so we're not making up the rules here, right? We're just kind of laying out the rules. But I was interested in what you said about it's not necessarily about just closing roads, but creating more activation with transport. Is that something we could bring in, again, with large events at Broadwater Parklands recently? The road's been closed, people take over the road, but really they have nowhere to go then. They're walking up Sundale and they're walking, the tram gets jam-packed. So if there was, I'd be more interested in seeing, before we just say, yeah, okay, you can close the road, what have you done to ensure that there's buses coming in and the like? Do we have capacity or
through the chair
to enforce that?
As part of the transport and traffic management plan, that all must be detailed on what they're doing. So when they talk about closing the road, part of that is then also looking at, if we have buses coming in, which route are they coming in? They must get letters of no objection if we're closing bus stops or anything like that. So it is reviewed as part of the traffic permitting process. So in line with the event permitting process as well.
Okay. Thank you, Laura. Councillors, I'm quite happy to move the item. If you're happy to second, Councillor Tozer. Oh, okay.
My light wasn't on when I put my hand up.
No, that's right. Sorry? Yes, yeah. Did you want to speak? Yeah. Okay, Laura, thanks so much for that presentation, and thanks to the whole team. There's been so much work that has gone into this, and I think every councillor appreciates the work that has gone into this, so thank you so much. I don't think you've left any stone unturned, quite honestly. This is something that's obviously going to give a lot more certainty to event promoters, organisers as well, but also give a much higher level of confidence to the community that there is a standard set of rules in place, and it's covering everything. It's covering the traffic management, it's covering the noise, it's covering the staging, I mean, obviously there'll be a few things. I'm sure there might be one or two teething problems. There generally is, but to actually have a document this thorough in place, which so everyone knows where they are, is something that's been a long time coming. And again, thank you so much for the work you've put in. It's good news all round, I think. So unless any councillors got anything to add, no. Okay, we will take the vote. All those in favour? That is carried. Thank you again. Councillor O'Neill, lovely to have you with us. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay, councillors, I just need to have a I just need to have a procedural motion for 6.2, given that the Invest Gold Coast project update, given the questions asked, because it does affect, or could affect council budget and also negotiations of a commercial matter. So I think we need to move this one to closed session. So we just need to have a procedural motion in place to move 6.2, the Invest project update, to closed session.
It's hard to see a reason why, when it explicitly states it doesn't have any financial or budget information for us in it, and that would be coming at the next meeting if we endorse this.
Yeah, but as far as negotiations, commercial in confidence, I don't know where this is going as far as questions raised. So I just thought it was safer to actually move that into close. But if you believe that you can ask those questions without going into anything that may, if we start going down that path, we'll have to move into close. But yeah, so quite happy to keep it in open, get Mark in to ask those questions, and we'll just have to be careful with that line of questioning. So, sorry, Paul, go on.
I was just saying, through you, Chair, Mark typically does a presentation, councillor, where we go through each of the items and the stages of each of those. Some of that may be commercial in confidence through those processes, and historically that's why we have put it into close. But again, if we tread carefully around that, then happy to do so.
If I may, Chair, I believe it was in the last ETEC meeting that there was an explicit request that presentations that are provided by InvestGC are designed in a way that what can be done in public is done in public, and that if there is confidential information, that is separated.
Through you, Chair, this report was designed with councillors and at the councillors' request, and it's consistent with the format that we have used for the last 4 ETEC meetings.
Yeah, and this was actually meant to be an open, so we weren't trying to. It seemed that, given the line of questioning, we may have to move into close, but we can, see how that goes and tread carefully. But as I say, no one's trying to cover anything up. It was always listed, as you can see, as an open session item. So, Councillor Tozer.
Through you, perhaps to Paul, what pages? It says confidential agenda, but I don't think these items are actually confidential or marked. They're not marked confidential. So just trying to. Yes, I'm just. Is there a presentation, firstly?
Through you, Chair, typically, yes, every month we've gone through each of the items that appear in that report.
Yeah, and is there anything in the presentation that goes beyond what is on page 661, 662? That looks like the list. Like 661 and 662 are non-confidential pages, as I'm reading. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that they're non-confidential. And if there's elements of the presentation that aren't on those pages, I'd be supportive of going to closed, but it'd be great to kind of query these items in open if that is okay with the chair and you.
Through you, Chair, I'm comfortable with that approach, but yeah, on 662, there are some items there that typically have been quite confidential.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Do you want to move to closed? What do you want to do? You're the chair.
Well, again, I'd probably look to. I think we can keep it. Yeah, we can keep it open, and we'll just monitor it as we go. But yeah, we just need to tread carefully with it. As I say, it was meant to be an open, but I got the feeling from the questions that were raised that this might actually be something we have to go into close. So, do you want to pop out, Mark? Yeah, thank you. Or is Michael and Mark? Is it? Yeah.
Michael's going to give the update on the priority. Can you hear me? Sorry. Michael Randall will give the priority project update. I don't believe there's anything that's, controversial or commercially sensitive that we can't discuss in open if that's what you like. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, councillors. I did just want to check: is it going to be coming up on the screen, or are you guys happy for me just to talk to the list? Talk to the list. Okay.
No, that's the thing. I wasn't expecting a presentation. I thought I was literally just going to go for the questions that were actually raised, Councillor Gates and Councillor Patterson. So, does anyone specifically want a presentation of everything? I think we can take it as read. A lot of it is just repeated each time unless there is an update. I think I wouldn't worry about that. I think we should just go straight to the question that Councillor Patterson had and I think Councillor Gates and Councillor Young, sorry. Councillor Patterson.
You got a few. Thank you, Chair, through you. Just regarding the projects update noted for July 26, it was noted that the CBD investment drivers report will be presented in July. Could you comment on that?
Yeah, and through you, Chair, the CBD investment drivers report has just been deferred by a couple of months, and that's just due to wanting to get it aligned properly with the strategic land use piece that's happening at the same time.
So on that,
sorry, and that was raised with me as the chair, and I said I was quite happy to. I'd rather sort of see everything done thoroughly before it came back, so I was aware of that.
I understand that. I suppose with the forward schedule, when we don't explicitly state what's coming, it's not clear. So the forward schedule just says we're having an update or we're having a project. We don't know which one it relates to. So perhaps the forward schedule could be a little bit more explicit. You know how I called out before the forward schedule didn't say the CBD investment drivers is coming? But I understand it's now going to come to the September committee meeting.
But we're talking now about the project update, not the forward schedule.
I know, but on page 661, you have the project update, which gives the timeline on when these things are going to come to council. Now, normally, when we have projects coming to council, if they're not via an entity, we can see it's very easy. Someone can read the forward schedule and they can see what's coming. Because all we have in our forward schedule is project coming rather than the actual name of it, it's not as easy to communicate or read, and we have to go through this document to get to it. So my request is that the forward schedule in the projects reflects these drivers. I've been assuming this was coming in July, and only just recently found out that it's not coming in July, so it wouldn't hurt to know those things.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I'm a little confused because the forward schedule does actually, give you the month that it's coming and the title of the item. So I'm sorry, I'm missing something here. You're happy to? Yeah.
So on page 61, it says that the report's coming in July, but the forward schedule says it's coming later. I think.
Yes.
To me, it's just an administrative area where we maybe haven't updated to page 61 in line with the deferment that you've approved as the chair. And as chair, if you want to defer a matter,
yep,
you're the chair. You can do whatever you like, and you don't have to inform any of us.
So sorry, if I can just, maybe I'm misunderstanding it, but in the forward schedule, which I've just now lost, on page 14 of our reports, for September, for example, it's got a projects update, but it doesn't tell us. It doesn't tell us what Invest is bringing, other than a performance report or an Invest update. Or is it just that it's not in there? It's not included in the projects update? Okay, cool. Thanks.
Councillor Fowler.
Thank you, Chair. Through you, if I might assist. So the project update is really what we've requested Invest do, which is a standing agenda item now. So basically what we've asked is that Invest come back and go through all of their PPP projects and any other projects that they're working on and give us an update. So it will change from month to month. So it's a standing agenda item, and that's why it doesn't have any further detail below it.
Okay, so just so happens, if I may ask, Chair, that the CBD investment drivers just doesn't happen to be on there because it was going to be July, but it's not. But next forward schedule, I will see it listed for September. Yeah, cool. Okay, thanks so much.
Thanks, Councillor Fowler. Sorry, have you got? Yeah, please. Yes.
Thank you, Chair, and through you. And if I move into confidential, please let me know. But I'll proceed as it is in the non-confidential part that we're discussing. I just had a question around the strategic land use assessment, and there's talk in the project update of the governance group that's being created. I just wanted to know from Invest who was involved in that governance group and who'll be representing the city.
Yeah, through you, Chair. I don't believe that's confidential, but we'll be supporting the property services team with that one. So predominantly that will be led through that team.
So property services team from the city will be creating a governance group.
So and through you, Chair, it'll be picked up as part of the internal project control group that's in place for a number of different projects. It'll be picked up as part of that. But yeah, the nominated lead for that would be property services, and we'll be providing specialist advice on that program moving forward.
Okay, thank you. And Chair, I just had another question just on the NBL. I just wanted to get a bit more context as to why that's been referred back from Invest Gold Coast to the Office of the CEO, please.
Through you, Chair, I might pass that one to Mark, if that's okay.
Yeah, happy to answer that. Through you, Chair. So for a couple of reasons. One, that the timing nature of the proposal from the NBL for us to consider only contemplated funding for the sponsorship of the team, and we understand that there's that there'll be requirements for venues as well. I guess the other dependency around a venue being the arena. And then additionally that just giving the funding nature of the proposal, that it was probably in the best interest, the board thought it would be in the best interest for the city to opine on that. We're happy to provide all of the... Oh, and one other thing was an independent piece of economic analysis that we're in the process of having completed. We're still waiting for. Happy to provide all of that information to the city to allow the city to use that fact base to support any decision that it might make. But the board thought that it was in the best interest for the city to make that decision.
Thanks, Mark. Councillor Young.
Thanks, Chairman. I'll turn my light on. I just wanted to ask about the Nerang project, Michael. There's first of all, I just want to make a comment that the report doesn't include the most recent deliberation or resolution of council in relation to Nerang. It refers to it in the table on page 661, but it doesn't make reference to it in the body of the report, and given that it's a public report, I thought it might be helpful. It only mentions a resolution from 2024, so I'm sorry about that lacking. But question-wise, is there an opportunity for me to engage, and you might be best to answer this, Mark, an opportunity for me to engage with Invest Gold Coast before the expression of interest is finalised and goes to market, just so I can be comfortable that all the bases are covered?
Yeah, and through you, Chair, just to answer the first one as well, in terms of the resolution numbers, that's just a bit of a timing issue with when our reports for this need to be submitted as to when the council resolution came through. So at the time of this being submitted, that resolution hadn't formally been passed. But secondly, 100%. So the timing as well in this report is now slightly out. So we're actually probably looking at going the EOA opening in late August, as opposed this says late July. So there's certainly plenty of time for us to come and meet with yourself and go through it and answer any questions you might have. And if there is any feedback, we can adopt that as well.
Thanks. Look forward to that. Thanks, Chairman.
Councillor Doran.
Thank you, Chair. Just a question with regards to the indoor Gold Coast arena. It does say that full council briefing scheduled for July. I'm just curious, the last time we talked about the arena, there hadn't been any announcement, Chair, or shortlist announced by the state government in relation to the Brisbane arena at that point. I think at that time we were operating in isolation as being the only advanced proposal in the market. Subsequently, there's been advancement in Brisbane and a shortlist created, which names were obviously of interest to councillors. I'm wondering if the briefing that's coming to full council will include some form of impact assessment of two arenas in an SEQ market in relation to, whilst content we've discussed before, I get that, but in the context of the feasibility of two in a market which currently has, I'll call Brisbane Entertainment Centre 0, but 0.5 of an arena. Will there be some commentary coming so we can assess any risks associated to the council with two in the SEQ market?
Yeah, and through you, Chair, I'm not sure if this one might verge on confidentiality. So, I'm happy to answer, but it might be easier to go into closed.
You're the only one that's going to know if your answer's confidential or not.
Yeah, well, through you, Chair, it just makes reference to some of the materials that were submitted previously in March and form part of the evaluation and the transaction documents.
Yeah, okay. It's a good question and it's well answered.
Okay, so okay, Councillor Tozer moving to closed because of a commercial in confidence matter. Seconded, Councillor Patterson. I would take that vote. All those in favour? That is carried. Streaming is back on, and councillors, and thanks very much for that briefing, Michael and Mark. Councillors, do we have a mover for the item 6.2 project update? Moved Councillor Tozer. I'm happy to second it. Councillor Tozer, did you wish to speak to it?
Of Councillor Fowler, who said that a regular project update would be helpful, and as always, councillors have engaged very productively in both open and closed about these projects pending with Invest Gold Coast. Thanks for your transparency.
Thanks, Councillor Tozer. I'll take that as an opening and a closing, and I will put the vote. All those in favour, that is carried. Thank you. We have three closed session items, 7.1, 2 and 3, for the reasons there on the screen: basis for confidentiality, local government budget, and negotiations relating to commercial matters involving the local government. So, councillors, I'm happy to move us into closed. Do we have a seconder? Thanks, Councillor Tozer. Take the vote. All those in favour, that is carried.
See Rabina and
streaming
Mudbug working together there. Did you see that?
streaming is now back on. Councillor Tozer, there's a recommendation here on the screen. Are you happy to move this recommendation? Yes. You are. Do we have a seconder for this recommendation? I am happy to second the recommendation, Councillor Tozer.
All right, look, the HOTA precinct master plan is in draft form right now, and it is an exciting project. We can't talk about all the elements, but there are definitely elements that have formed part of the previously adopted master plans that need more information. And quite appropriately, councillors have interrogated that in closed session and talked about some of the elements that are now kind of depicted or captured in this resolution that can take us to the next report, which is coming in December 2026. It's hoped at that time we can make some more informed decisions about the next stage of this precinct, having regard for other buildings that we own in the broader Bundall area.
And that sums it up fantastically. Okay. Anyone else wish to speak to the motion? Councillor Young.
I can understand why Councillor Doran didn't second the motion that he worded up, because he realises that it is incomplete, and accordingly I can't support it. In that it doesn't address the key matter of hope and the city's hope.
In which case, I'll consider debate closed, and we will take the vote. All those in favour? Against? That is carried. Done.
Thank you. I'm going to politely excuse myself.
Yeah, thanks, Councillor Tozer.
Good luck with the next one. I'm not sure how you go.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. Thank you. And, okay, councillors, we move on to 7.2, strategic priority acquisition opportunity. We gave the reasons before, obviously local government budget and negotiations relating to commercial matter involving the local government, etc., etc. I'm happy to move us to closed. If I have a seconder, thank you so much, Councillor Fowler. All those in favour? That is carried. The live streaming is back on, and hello to anyone who's stuck with us. Yeah. Councillors, 7.2, Invest Gold Coast Strategic Property Acquisition Opportunity. Following a lengthy discussion on that, I am happy to move a procedural motion that, as written on the screen, that item 7.2 be deferred to the 869th full council meeting scheduled for 28th July 2026. Do I have a seconder for that? Councillor Young? Yes. Obviously, no need to discuss that. It's as read. All those in favour? That is carried. And item 7.3, State of the Games reports. Recommendation is on the screen. You're happy? Me? I'm happy to move. Seconded. Councillor Doran. Okay, this is simply an update on the 2032 games. We get a regular update as to how we're travelling so that we're in the best possible position to deliver the best games ever. And I think, Brisbane might have a small part in it as well, but obviously all the great action and everyone will be talking about what we do here on the Gold Coast. Moved. Seconded Councillor Doran. We'll take the vote. All those in favour? That is carried. I think that's it. In which case, declare the meeting closed. I'm going to say 16:01, but it's really actually 15:59 because that clock is 2 minutes fast. But I'll leave that with you, Jody. Okay. Meeting closed. Of whatever time you want it to be.